Let me connect you on Parsec, or have you just not accepted?
That is correct. I have not accepted.
Wow.
Hello, everyone. Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
How be
People over
do?
here and people over there. People everywhere.
Whoop,
That
whoop.
is watching, because otherwise they might not have heard. So I can't. There's no point saying hello to them at that point, really.
That is true. That is
Yeah.
true.
So how are you guys doing? Are you guys feeling FOMO? Yeah, of not being at TwitchCon. Is that? Are you?
But they
Are you
might still
guys?
be going. You never know. They
That's
might
true.
be.
Maybe they just haven't gone yet, or maybe they're watching from TwitchCon. Maybe that's
We're
why.
live on the screens at TwitchCon.
Yeah, literally at TwitchCon, they're showing this stream. Hello, Silas, are you there? Hello, yeah.
They're showing this stream as like an example stream of what
Yeah,
everyone should
this
be
is they're
aiming
having
for.
yeah. There's like a whole panel. So like we've noticed that a lot of streams are not good. Let us show you a good stream. Twitch.tv.
Yeah, we've honed it down to the perfect stream.
Yeah, exactly.
The right amount of chatting and gameplay.
Yeah.
Hello,
We can maybe squad
everyone.
scream. I have given Sapphire editor privileges now, so in
Do you know
theory she
what?
should be able to send squad invite or accept stream ed. She has already sent an invite. She is a better editor than Rossabo.
Rosabo's gone to TwitchCon.
No, how are you going to run anything?
I don't know how to exist anymore.
Damn.
I've clicked on the button. What's that say? Accepita? Is that accepita? Or decline? Is that which one do I do?
I think it's a capita. I think that's the one.
Okay, I clicked accepita.
Nice.
I'm already tired from all this work.
You're just not used to working so hard for your streams. Yeah.
No.
I understand. It's strange when your workload just shifts so abruptly, you know. It's
I
hard.
don't realize how dependent you become on a Rossabo until they're gone.
True.
Never allowed to leave again.
I said that was a bad idea. Right. How are you doing today on this Friday? You said you were sleepy.
I am sleepy.
Yeah. Did you wake up too early, or did you get a lot of sleep, or how come sleepy?
So Kirsty came around last night so she could stay here before she went to
at like 4 a.m. or
Amsterdam.
something, right?
Yeah, so I think I stayed up talking to her for a little bit, but she did go to bed quite early. But then I went upstairs.
But she already left.
We carried on talking.
I see.
Yeah, she left.
So she was downstairs. You talked. You went upstairs, and then you continued talking via Discord, or what?
We literally said goodnight like 3 times because we had the big goodnight and the have fun at TwitchCon and all of this stuff. And then she went upstairs and I was walking past her room and she was like, "Come cuddle tabs." And I went in and we had another big chat. And I was like, "I should leave you to get to sleep now." Okay, the night. And then I was like, "Oh, look at a boy." And then we had another chat. And I was like, "Okay, I'll leave you to get to sleep now."
Nice.
So she then left at like 3 in the morning. I think I had her go.
3 in the morning, 3 a.m.
Yeah, she had to get up super early.
Oh right, yeah, of course, yeah.
And then I did dream about her. This is true.
Okay.
I had a dream about her. Then Alex had to get up. Alex had to go to the eye hospital this morning, which opened at 8:30. So he had to get up to exercise at like 7. So I woke up then again. And then I did my dream and stuff, and then I was reading on the sofa and I just kept falling asleep.
Oh no.
It's a really good book, but I just kept, when you like tires you out sometimes.
Absolutely.
So I was just there like every 10 minutes I would just wake
you
up
realize
again,
that I gotta jump half a page back at least to see where I was. Yeah, I've been there. It just seems like you've not gotten enough deep sleep. Like you've gotten like little bits of sleep that have constantly been interrupted. So Yeah.
That is the problem. Tell
Yeah.
Ridley in the dream. Do you want to hear the dream I had?
Sure. Let's have an
Do you want to
impromptu
try
comfort
and
zone.
analyze this
Sure.
for
Yeah.
me?
Sure.
I had a dream that there was a giant banana, like the shape, like the size of, like, a thick log, and Kirsty spent ages carving a vagine into it.
Oh.
And then at the end of the dream, I was getting on with something else. At the end of the dream, I came back and Kirsty was like, "I'm done," and I've realized I'm gay, and I was like, "Yay!" And then I woke up. So, what does it mean?
Right. So obviously banana phallic shaped, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the fact that she is carving it out of the banana means that she's carving a vagina out of a penis, right?
Yeah.
Which is, I might be entirely wrong here, but like when you go through gender reassignment surgery, like bottom surgery, that is part of what they do. If I haven't been entirely misinformed, they basically, okay, warning, this can sound pretty scary. Like they split the penis like sort of open.
Like a banana split.
Yeah, sort of. Oh my god.
I love banana.
And basically go through the work to basically turn into a vagina, pretty much. Now I might be entirely wrong, but for some reason that's what I've heard or think I've heard. I am obviously not
what
at all.
I thought when I was a child.
No, I mean, yeah, I might be entirely wrong.
I genuinely thought you just had to get the very end, and then if you just in one really quick motion just pushed, that was it. That was what it took. Everything would just be like, and then it was, and then it was done.
Yeah.
Ah, sweet childhood innocence.
Yeah. Where you knew very little and were pretty happy about it anyway. So.
It's just that way that your childhood brain will be like, how does this do that? Like that? Okay, I'll never think about it again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Solved it. Finished.
Yeah, you don't think any further. You just like, you read one thing, it's like, oh, okay, that's the truth. I'll roll with that then. You know. It's like, oh, okay. Do you remember what you were doing in the dream, or were you just doing random stuff?
I think I was like, I think I worked at a hotel or something. It was something to do with like this terrible show that I watched with Kirsty just before. That was just really. It was like, I was making beds or something like that. I don't know.
Okay, and then when she was done carving out the vagina, she said, "I realized I'm gay," and you were happy. Yeah. Yay! So it seems to me like your subconscious brain were thinking. Well, I mean, maybe, but also was thinking about like sexuality and gender identity and things like that in general, like how certain people realize who they are later in life, be it gender wise or sexuality wise, changes they go through and so on. And so your brain made that into like a larger, more physical thing. And it might not necessarily be that Kirsty is the person you think like should change or is changing or anything. It could just be like she is one of your friends and you had just interacted a lot with her before the dream. So she takes the place of personifying just you as a person, seeing other people, perhaps even people you know, like changing themselves somehow, and it's becoming this very physical thing. That's sort of how I make an analysis of that.
See, that's interesting because everyone this morning, because I mentioned it on my morning stream, everyone was just like, "You want to marry Kirsty?"
I don't know. I think
probably.
I don't know. I don't think so. Like first of all, I wouldn't ship my two friends, both, you know, one of whom is married to a man. Like I wouldn't do that in the first case. But second of all, I don't know. I think that's too easy and too like surface level analysis of the thing, of just saying like, also like, oh, a friend of yours said she's gay. That means you want to bang him? No, not really, not necessarily. Like that's, I think there's something deeper to it. and particularly the whole carving was a huge deal to me. I think so. That's my
I don't
analysis.
really think of bananas as being a very sculptable material, to be honest.
No, not
They're just
really.
mushy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in the shell, it's hard. So.
True. When they're green.
Yeah. Well, it starts green, but then becomes yellow, and then becomes brown and black.
I didn't give her a bouquet first. This is true. Got to do things the proper way.
That's how it works. First bouquet, then you need to wait for it to rain. You need to go find a ghost sailor, buy a mermaid pendant, and there you go. That's how it works. Hello, Raiders. Good to see you.
It never occurred to me that he was a ghost.
Well, I think it's actually a little bit unclear, I think, in the default game, because he's kind of just blue mostly. But then whenever Grandpa appears in the vision, he's also kind of blue. So I think that's just sort of how they're drawn in Stardew. Like ghosts are like blue, you know. But to be fair, if he's a ghost, then why? How can he give you a mermaid pendant? Is the real question, I guess.
True.
So yeah, who knows? I had a dream a few days ago, and which means I've lost most of the details. But it was a scary dream. I got pushed off a building, and I fell and I broke my legs. So that was really scary. That's all. Mostly, I remember it. There was more details before, but they've faded away now. Like I was gonna tell you the day after, but it like never came up in conversation. So now that's all I remember. I got pushed off a building and broke my legs. That was great.
I had a dream the other night that I was in like phasmophobia.
Oh, that's worse.
But the ghost was like a hillbilly with a gun, and I was like, "That's not fair!" And I just ran at him and just tried to like wrestle the gun off of him.
Oh wow, that's brave.
I was like, "No,
uncool! You're supposed to be slow and scary and creepy, but not with a gun, you know."
Yeah.
Maybe it's DBD thing. When's the last time we played DBD? I haven't played that in ages.
Not for ages.
Yeah.
But I think a friend who I play Phasmo with sometimes had messaged me to say that there'd been an update or something, maybe. So I think maybe that had gone into my head.
My head, yeah.
My head.
Yeah, that could be it, probably.
The game sound really quiet.
Yes. I have made it quiet. It's currently at 10%. I normally bump it up to like 50, 60 when we play. So, but now in the beginning when we're just talking, I figured, you know, let's not have it overpowering. So,
overpower.
So,
are you feeling FOMO then, or are you not?
Oh, not. I'm feeling FOMO. Preemptive, preemptive fear of missing out.
They're going to have a good time.
They're gonna have a good time.
Yet.
Yeah, I haven't really yet to see them all, like, you know, picture them all together, hanging out, like, doing fun things. That hasn't happened yet. But if I see a picture of Kirsty, Nancy, Silas, and Mousy, and Remy, and people hanging out in Silas's house, and board game in the background, and hugging Remy and taking a picture, there will be serious FOMO, you know? Like seeing like, I don't know, Harry, Lewis, and Ravs eating dinner somewhere, like, yeah, whatever. But like, if I see all of them having a chill, fun time, then it'll be FOMO. There'll be serious FOMO. Well, FOMO, I guess, not the wrong word.
Well, I guess.
Because FOMO is what gets you to go. right? So this is just Mo. This is just missing out, you know? There's no FOMO. This is just Mo.
Of all the people in that picture that Ravs took, that are people that hang out all the time anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is just they could have just as well. Like, they could have just been on the Duke or whatever. Like it's different, you know. Like it doesn't matter. But the special thing is like now is he showing up, and for me, or in my case, meeting Kirsty for the first time. You know, like. You know, saying hi to Remy, the legendary fart boy. You know, that stuff would be really cool. But yeah,
I'm really like proud of Nowsy for going.
Yeah,
because I know sometimes it's like can be difficult. So when he said he was going to TwitchCon, I was like, oh, Please don't
Yeah,
get cooked.
yeah. Well, I mean, he sadly, a lot of people probably will. But yeah, no, I'm happy for Nancy. I think Nancy's done a great change in his life in many ways, and it's cool to see him do more stuff. You know, it's nice.
Yeah.
So I hope he has a great time. The beginning of his journey hasn't been fantastic, let me tell you.
Oh yeah, you had a story for
Yeah.
me.
So he popped up the Discord last night. On his phone. On his phone, with microphone being not so fantastic, but you know. So he's like, "Hi guys, sorry for the shit quality. I'm on my phone." It's like, all right, cool. You haven't gotten your PC up yet? It was just this big sigh. Like, all right. So he forgot to bring his converter to be able to like power his stuff in Europe, because obviously you guys have different plugs in the UK than we do here in Europe.
Yeah.
So that was a problem. So he was completely ran out of power. So nothing worked except his phone, which was the only thing that had charge left. And he showed off his hotel room, and I put quotation marks to that because it's about the size of my sofa. That room, maybe a little bit larger. In that place, there is a sink, there is a bed, and there is like a place where you can hang clothes. That's it.
It's
a tiny white room. It's a shared bathroom. Because it's like a small place on the top of a pub, basically.
Yeah.
And so he showed us up with the camera, and he's sitting inside of it, and it's like he moved the camera, the phone just a little bit, and like, okay, now you've seen all of it, you know. And it was just, he's sitting there, and then he showed there was no chair, there was a chair, but there's no table in there. So he had his bed. So what he did was he placed the chair, put his luggage there, and then leaned the PC on top of it so that he could have somewhere to sit. But of course, it had no power, so he couldn't use it anyway. So then after a while,
and he downloaded Final Fantasy as well.
Yeah, he had full intentions of using it, and so he wouldn't be bored just sitting in the hotel room like he just was. Thankfully, he could go on and just chat with us, but you know, sometimes you still get bored. You want to do something while you're chatting. So eventually, me and Silas convinced him just you need to just get out of there and get a converter. Like it's worth it. Like it sucks that you forgot it. It sucks you're gonna have to buy it, but just go out and get it. And he's like, you're right. Okay, I'll be back in about an hour. 2 hours later, he shows up on Discord, still on his phone. And I'm like, hey man, did you get the converter? No. I couldn't find any anywhere. They're sold out, or places are closed. And we're like, what? How could you not? Like, well, I went to like Lidl to check. Yeah, okay, fine. You might not find one Lidl. And then he got into a cab to drive around to a couple of different places to check. Spent like £40 on the cab ride or something. Didn't find a converter. And he was like, well, I went to a gas station and I couldn't find it. And me and Sarah sitting there like, why did you go to an electronics store? Well, I figured and then at that point it was, to be fair, at that point it was late. At that point it was like, you know, almost like 9:30 in the evening, you know, so like a lot of places would be closed at that point. So then he just sat around for us for a while, chatted a bit before he's like, all right, I'm just gonna try to go to bed so that time passes so that I could do stuff in the morning instead, basically. So first day, not so great, but he did have a lovely time chilling on the boat. Because he traveled by ferry and stuff, right? Or I can't remember, but he was on a boat for a while. So he was on the boat. We checked on it when he was on the stream. He was just sitting there chilling, streaming. Had a good time. Got to tell some stories. So I imagine a little bit of ups, but a lot of downs. He was very down on it. He was talking to me. He's like, oh boy, Rithen, you dodged a bullet. This place sucks. Amsterdam's the worst. I hope he'll be happier in the next couple of days.
Yeah. Well, I guess like hopefully a few people will have brought converters over, so hopefully he can borrow one of those.
Exactly. Like at the very least, Silas and Mousy was going to bring one anyway when they were going to meet. But if they forget it, I'm sure literally anyone else traveled from UK probably didn't forget theirs, so he can at least borrow it for a while. Though ideally he needs his own so that he can charge it while he's in the hotel or whatever, because he is full intention of, like, if he's not out doing stuff, which, and I think this Nelsy doesn't like just doing kind of nothing. Like, this doesn't really just want to hang out. He doesn't really find that fun. He wants to do something. He wants to, like, occupy his mind, occupy his hands, like, have an activity. So if he doesn't, so if there's nothing particular happen, his full intention is like, I'm gonna go back to the hotel and I'm gonna load up my laptop and I'm gonna play Final Fantasy. That's what I'm gonna do. So yeah, I'm all for that personally, because that means I have company. Like, I've loaded myself up with single player games out the wazoo, so I've got plenty to keep myself entertained and just ignoring the fact that everyone else is having fun without me. So I'm gonna just sink deep into single player games mostly. But
we can spend the weekend watching wrestling.
Yeah, we could. Absolutely, would love to watch some wrestling. But I have been told that at least at some point, sometimes late in the evening or whatever, when people have gone home and they're not out doing stuff, people will come on, have a little bit of a chat with me, and maybe do a roulette or two in Final Fantasy. But yeah, I'll watch some wrestling. That could be fun. I think the people who aren't on, like, the people who are Discord regulars and who aren't on TwitchCon, is like me,
Outer.
Monkfish, Daltos. You're not really a Discord regular, but you're a recurring guest. This is what you are to the Discord. A lot of other people are special guests, or once was there at one point. But yeah. But I think pretty much everyone else is at TwitchCon. Yeah. Fion, I guess. Fion is here more often recently now, so they'll also maybe be around. Who knows? But they're mostly there for the pub quiz on Fridays.
Yeah.
Which you are missing out on, by the way. There's not going to be one today.
It's too late because I'm babying early.
Because we tend to wait for people to finish all their stuff, and one of us has D&D and stuff, so they end up showing up late. So yeah, so it's a bit late. But how often do you go to bed?
How often do I go to bed?
Once a day, roughly.
Sometimes twice.
Sometimes twice. I meant, that was a really dumb question. When do you usually go to bed? Is what I
meant. Usually like between 11 and midnight.
Okay. Yeah, that's very early compared to most of us. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been better recently.
I tend to start doing like winding down stuff at 11, like putting the bunnies back and checking they got all their stuff for the night, and then
do you do the healthy thing and like stop looking at screens basically a little while before bed?
Yeah, sometimes we're like getting to bed and have a bit of an ass on the phone. Alex has a what's it called, the Steam Deck thingy now, so he's become very bad for like playing that in bed for like half an hour. So then that encourages me to be like, just be on my phone for a little bit.
Yeah, if he's blasting out God of War or whatever on his Steam Deck, like you might as well read Reddit or something. So yeah. No, I realized as soon as I said I was doing better about that recently, how much of a lie that was, because yesterday I went to bed at 5 a.m. So that's not great. That's a little bit too late. I try to aim for between 2 and 3 if I can. But here's the problem. My goddamn friends. My friends.
This is the thing,
Yeah. My friends show up on Discord at midnight, usually. Or 11 or midnight later. And then they are around for a couple of hours. So if I go to bed early then, I don't get to hang out with my friends at all because they show up so late. I hate that.
Yeah.
That's
We're all
FOMO.
as bad as each other.
Yeah, well, it's a vicious cycle, right? Because if people continue showing up late, I'm going to show up late, and then somebody will be like, "Well, I need to be late because Rythian's up late," and it's never going to end. You know, we need to set. I need to set up some sort of timer on Discord, so it already shuts down at a certain point. So no, you can't be here anymore. Now we're being kicked off. Go to bed. I used to have a rule basically saying so the earliest I pretty much, unless I have an appointment really early, which is happening in early September, I need to be somewhere at 8, which is horrible. But anyway, normally the earliest I ever wake up is 11 a.m.
Yeah.
Because I have a recording at 12 a.m. Or no, 11:30. But usually it's like the recording starts somewhere between 11:30 and 12 a.m. depending on how late people are and how much chatter we do before. But yeah, so the earliest I ever wake up is 11 a.m. So I'm like, okay, 11 a.m. minus 8 hours for a proper night's sleep is 3 a.m. So I gotta go to bed at 3. Because anything less, I do start feeling it. I can manage if it's 7.5, maybe even 7. It won't be that bad. But like anything later, and I'm not in a great shape for the first half of that day. Honestly, like I'm just a couple of steps slower, just a little bit less funnier, a little bit grumpier probably. So I try to set the rule of 3 every time. And if I'm not getting up at 11, getting to bed at 3 is still pretty good, because the more steady a time you do, more consistently a time you do, the better your body gets to be used at it. Like you can absolutely train your body to get used to wake up. Like I forgot to set my alarm for today, but I still woke up at my default time. But my default time these days seems to now be like a little bit after noon 1, which is I'd like to again move that back a little bit if I can to be more normal, but that happens anyway. So at least I didn't sleep past stream today because I forgot to set the alarm. So
it does worry me sometimes if like I go to call you and I see that your thing on Discord is offline. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, I don't know how it works with the phone, right? Because sometimes you see the little phone symbol, but I think that's only if you currently have Discord open on your phone. I think maybe because because tabbing on the phone works differently. Like if it's in a different tab, I don't think it's like active in the same way. I don't know. I don't know exactly how it works. But yeah, 3 a.m. at the latest sleep, and then up 11. If I could make that a regular thing, I'd be happy. But sometimes I just want to stay up a little bit longer, you know, like I'm doing this, doing that, and sometimes I love it's a really nice feeling sleeping in when you know you can. That feels real good, you know. So
I just can't do it anymore. I get to a certain point where I'm just like, I'm tired. If I go to bed any later than 1 now, I'm just like, no.
Yeah. But yeah, because things you get up at 10, right? No, you must get up at 9 if you're doing 10 a.m. streams, right?
Yeah. I'm usually awake from like 8 or 8:30, just because that's when Alex gets up.
Yeah, he's one of those working regular people. Christ, these people.
Working 9 to 5.
Exactly. One of those saps caught in the 9 till 5 grind. Yeah. No, man, Alex does a cool job.
But I had like when I was looking after a friend's cat recently, and I was having to get up at like 7 every morning and walk around her house and feed the cat and play with him for a while and stuff. And I really liked that because it was like I got so much more of the day.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm into a routine now. I've done this every day for a week. As soon as like she's back and I don't have to do it anymore, I just keep getting up at that time. I'm going to be so productive. Literally, the first day that I didn't didn't have to go around, I woke up like 3.5 hours later than I should have. I was like, oh, I've already broken the habit.
That's the thing to me, like that I always I've mentioned this before, like my arguments and mental battles between awake Rythian or sleepy Rythian and awake Rythian, right? Because sleepy Rythian has the power early on usually, and awake Rythian has to do every trick in the book to get a sleepy Rythian to give up. When I get up in time, when I get like early in the day or whatever, I'm so happy. Usually, well, let's not exaggerate, but I'm pleased and I feel like good because all of a sudden I feel like I get more out of the day. Like there's
more
it's like you
found
time.
A cheat code or something.
Yeah, I found a cheat code to get extra time. You know, like all of a sudden, aha! Like I have time to do more things. I get to spend more time on because like if a day is at its worst, I mean, still pretty good because I have a pretty decent life. But like I wake up just before like a stream, and I stream at 3 a.m. So like I'm in bed until like maybe 2:30. Get up, shower, get ready, stream for 3.5, 4 hours. Then it's like 7. Then I like chill for a bit, eat food. Then it's like maybe 8. And then I'm on Discord playing games and stuff. And it's like, okay, like I've got maybe 5 hours of Final Fantasy and chilling with people. And then bed. And it's like, while I got time there, it felt like the day just sort of disappeared. But if I wake up at, if I were to wake up at noon or like 11 or whatever, I have a couple of hours before stream where I can just be in the computer, like play some single player games I wanted to play. I do a little bit of this, a little of that. Maybe get something done, get out of the house, go to the shops in time without stressing, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Come back, do a stream, finish stream. Plenty of time to like decide what to do, if I want to have food or not, whatever. Like, I meant to give this a go, try this, like sort out some of the like or reorganize and cleaning stuff that needed to be done, and still have time for several hours of hanging with friends and so on, and then to bed. Like, I feel like I've accomplished more things in that day, and it's not a huge deal. It's just getting up a couple of hours early gives your brain a bit of time to wake up and be ready, rather than like, stream, get time to get to work, I gotta go to work, and then like, oh shit, I gotta get stored, nothing in my fridge, and then afterwards you're, not that you don't have time, because obviously when I'm done with the stream and it's like evening, like sure, that means I still have 6 or 7 hours if I stay up late enough. I can do whatever I want, but usually I don't want to do anything, because like I've not had the early day to my brain wake up. I just went straight into like stream mode, shopping, things I need to do. After that, it's like I just want to chill and do nothing, and then it ends up just being roulettes in Final Fantasy and browsing Reddit, and like that doesn't feel productive. And I'm not saying hugely productive. I'm not saying I need to like write my novel or clean the entire house, but still just being able to like do a little bit more, a little bit different stuff than the same routine feels really good. So yeah, I really gotta convince myself when I do wake up. It's like, listen, Sleep Iridian, I know it would be so nice to sleep longer. Sleep is great. I agree with you. It's fantastic. It would be so lovely to sleep in. You can put on some chill ambient sounds and drift up to sleep. It'll be great. But have you considered getting up? And Sleep Iridian's like, no getting up, only sleep. And I have to convince him, okay, but if you just go up to do this quick thing, and maybe you can go back to sleep later. That's what I often have to do if I haven't gotten enough sleep, right? If I've gone to bed really late, and I have to get up for recording, and Sleep Iridian's like, just cancel and go to sleep. And everybody says, no. Okay. Here's the deal. Go up, do recording, real quick. It's fine. TTT, you can be quiet. You can just be one in the call. You don't need to do what. Just be there, show up. It's fine, right? And then immediately afterwards, go sleep. You can sleep. Go just fine. So go sleep afterwards. No big deal. And then Sleep Iridian's like, fine. But then by the time I've been up for about half an hour, 45 minutes, Awake Iridian has all the power. So then he's part of the recording. He's joining in, having a good time, and afterwards, and he's like, I promise Sleep Iridian sleep. Psych! I'm staying awake. Lol.
You know what would be a really good aid in that?
What?
A cat.
Yeah, probably you're right, actually.
Because that's one of the reasons I got up early this morning was because I had Mr. Tabs 2 inches from my face being like, meh. And I was like, breakfast, oh yes, okay.
That's true. That is true.
That would help. They remind you. They are on the side of Awake Iridian.
This is true. Sketch's Wave says, so you're saying Awake Iridian's a liar. Yeah. Awake Iridian uses every dirty trick in the book. Lies, cajoles, tricks, fools, misleads, any possible way to get Sleep Iridian to lose his power. Because at a certain point, Awake Iridian only has enough power for a certain time, and then Sleep Iridian takes over. Sleep Iridian is default state, right? But Awake Iridian gets enough power every now and then. But it's the transfer of power that's the difficult part. That's where the trick needs to come in. And you'd think the Sleep Iridian would have learned all the tricks by now, as there's been repeated tricks all over, for many, many years. The Sleep Iridian Awake Iridian keeps using. But Sleepy Iridian falls for it every time, honestly. That's the thing.
Because he's too sleepy.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just not that clever because he's very sleepy. So, yeah. Yeah, a cat would need to get up, make sure they're... I mean, I imagine cats will mostly take care of themselves. But the cat might pop in and say, hello, feed me. So yeah, sure, okay, go give him food. And then, check everything. And then once it's been up for a while, I might as well just stay up. That's it. Just like get Sleepy Iridian up for, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And then it's gone. He's been awake for too long. Awake Iridian takes over.
One of my favorite things with Tab staying was, because I always fed him and stuff. And then there was one time when he was here and I think I was just a bit under the weather or something, or I hadn't had a good night's sleep or something. So Alex was like, I'll feed him, don't worry. And the look of realization on Tab's face when he was like, you know the sacred ritual too? You've never performed it? And then from then on, every morning Tabs was just there, just hitting Alex in the face in the morning. And I was just like,
oh, Alex was safe before, but then he did it once and Tabs realized. Wow. That's pretty amazing. Thought,
he clearly doesn't know about breakfast. I won't bother him. It's this woman here. She does it. She knows.
She understands the breakfast part. Yeah, it's this other being, useless probably. And then, he's learned. I shall now attract my attentions until the male shape. Yeah. Yeah, one of these days I'm going to stop saying one day and I'm actually going to get one. But yeah, at some point.
Yeah.
Because I do think I would really like it.
They're very lovely. They do very stinky poos though. That's the only thing.
Yeah. So, where do you even put the litter? Do people usually put them in the toilet? Or do they in... Yeah, I don't know.
Most people probably have just outdoor cats anyway.
Yeah, well, I
don't know where Kirsty puts her. I'd assume the bathroom would make the most sense.
Yeah, that's the place where you can... Well, I guess you don't want to shut the door because they need to be able to go in, but yeah.
Yeah, well, that is one thing. If you get a cat, you can say goodbye to peeing on your own.
Whenever you go, they're coming in to say hello, yeah.
Yep.
And sit between, inside your underwear. I've often seen that picture, yeah.
Yeah. There was one time when I went to go for a wee and Tabs just immediately followed and then jumped into my lap and I was like, oh, we're just staying here now? Okay. Guess this is what we're doing.
Yeah. Tabs, I'm done now. Can we leave? He's like, no. Yeah. Right. Should we play before this goes on for too long? This little chatting thing. Bump up volume a bit. All right. Trial part 3. We are just about to rebuttal the witnesses. Yeah.
We're having a thingamabob to do that.
Yeah, Mr. Robot Man, Mr. Drebber. All right, this is you. Oh God, we only have 1 health left in the top right corner.
Oh yeah, I forgot about this.
Yeah, we've lost a lot. Oh dear.
I've known that woman for years. She'd never be an accomplice to anything.
It's utter nonsense to think those two would ever be conniving with one another.
Oh dear, this is most troubling, but surely the waxwork the man stole is nothing to do with the coroner, is it?
This, I feel, is something we can jump on. Because we have the Courtney Scythe waxwork thingamajig, probably. Or Courtney type of thing. So we can probably jump on that. I've had my own problems with members of the police. I do not trust them much. See no rigorous proof that this waxwork was ever inside the bird cage. It's conjecture.
Accusing someone without right evidences is not a proper job, is he? I won't have it.
Okay, so I guess we just start pressing to go from the beginning and see where it leads.
Hold it!
The order of things seems to have changed around here for some reason. Yeah, he went first. Number 6.
I'm a copper, lad. It's a copper's discretion to bend the rule sometimes when needs must. What's wrong with that?
He says, bringing out his gun. Where do I start?
I've been working at the yard for 40-odd years.
That's even more than I thought.
I've only had a metropolitan police service in town for 70 years, you know. Of course, times have changed. The public didn't trust coppers back when I started. It was rough. We had to fight crime, and we had to fight to win the public's trust as well. And win we did. Forensic science was in its infancy too, even more than it is now, and she spearheaded the revolution.
Dr. Syed, you mean?
Oh, of course, I forgot we were accusing it.
Yeah.
That's right. About 10 years ago now it was, when I was still a youngish Bobby on the beat. That's when she started making a name for herself as a top-class coroner.
That sounds like the title of a song, Bobby on the Beat or something.
Bobby on the beat.
Yeah.
And now look at her, head of the forensic investigation team, and a woman no less.
And a woman no less.
Oh, you won't hear me complain. It's all we've dreamt of back then, I'll tell you.
Could you tell me without holding that gun in the air?
We were all out to uphold justice, lad. Full of vim we were, full of vim.
That's coming across loud and clear. Utterly nonsense.
Hold it!
But we're only just starting to understand this case. What are you reading there, sir? The man behind those murders in Solar Pond Street was caught in 2 days flat. That's real policing for you. That's really not relevant to this case, is it? You're wrong there. Because it was Dr. Scythe in charge of examining the bodies. And it was evidence arising from her work that led to the arrest of the scoundrel responsible. Oh. That's right, oh. That woman is at the forefront of this country's fight against crime. The idea that she's somehow involved in this murky business is a load of old tosh. I thought it was up to me to press the jurors, not the other way around.
Yes, it's most troubling, but surely the waxwork the man stole has nothing to do with the coronet, is it?
What if it does? Why would you assume that?
Well, quite simply because that unsettling swindler has no relationship with the other woman. With the woman, does he?
The woman!
The
True.
woman.
As it stands, we don't know any connection.
Oh gosh. But it would be delightfully romantic if they were somehow to have a mutual interest in the waxwork.
Oh dear. Romantic?
A woman of society such as myself use everything in terms of relationships, you know.
Oh dear. Well, you learn something new every day, even if you don't want to.
One might wonder about a possible relationship between the defendant and this coroner woman. Or perhaps between the defendant and the handsome prosecutor just there.
This woman may be more astute than I've been giving her credit for.
If that's the woman's stamp, then perhaps demonstrating some connection between the waxwork and Dr. Scythe would be enough.
Yes, I agree. As soon as we've even a whiff of a connection, she'll be the first to know. Alright, let's just go ahead and present that thing then. No, it's no, wait, we need to pit. Okay, but yeah, we know that that's a connection. Yeah. I've had my own problems with members of the police.
Hold it!
What sort of problems? Let's just say we have run into each other on numerous occasions. Been performing on the street. Right, I see. Obviously, artists such as myself do not appear on stage as we work in close proximity to our audiences. So, we perform our great magic in parks, on street corners, and the like. But the police use any excuse to make our lives difficult. Oh, he didn't like that.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, dear.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. Do you have something to say in response to that, Mr. Ottermole?
Who are you calling a mass murderer?
Ah, sorry, my mistake. I got confused because I heard you looked like him.
I don't look anything like the man. You want to be locked up, sonny.
Thanks, Mr. Shums. Perhaps we could move on. I was really wondering if you had something you wanted to add in response to what juror number 3 just said. And clearly you do.
Back in my day, back in the good old days.
Good old days.
It wasn't like this.
What was it like, sir?
We worked our fingers to the bone to earn the public's trust, we did. And by Jove, we earned it. People respected us back then.
Respected you?
No one would have called a coroner into question in them days. Coroner's report was the hallmark of an investigation done right. Especially when Dr. Courtney Stevens put her name to it. She was the best of the best, and the apple of the... Oh.
So this, I mean, we suspected, but this clarifies it. That Stevens and Scythe are the same people, yeah.
Same person.
Hold on a minute. What are you talking about? Who's Courtney Stevens?
Sorry. Got a bit carried away there. Stevens is Dr. Scythe's maiden name.
Her maiden name. So that was before she was married.
Of course, yes. Silly me. It's Scythe now, isn't it?
Stevens. I'm sure I've seen that name somewhere recently.
Anyway, the point is, those were the great days of policing, not like now.
Sorry to interrupt, sir. But do you think you could change your statement to include that name?
Well, yes, I don't see why not.
Alright. Then we'll pit these two against each other.
Hold it!
Whoops,
We had the
I
name
didn't mean to press.
Stevens before.
Yeah, it's in the court record.
But I mean, with someone else. Oh, okay. No, that I see the connection.
Yeah.
My brain was confused.
Yeah. So there is a connection between the waxwork and the coroner, which is exactly what we were asking for. I pressed him again for some reason, but she was legendary, was she?
What did you say?
Ah!
That woman is still the best coroner in the land. Head of the forensic investigation team.
Legendary was your description, sir, not mine.
Rubbish. That word never passed my lips.
Hold on a minute.
I'd never describe anybody that way, ever. Not if they were still in the game.
I think the point you're trying to make is Dr. Scythe is a extremely talented coroner. Would that be fair?
It would. If it weren't for the fact that you're trying to drag that legendary woman's reputation through the mud.
I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that legendary. Alright, so let's pit this with this.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
Objection.
Object.
These two statements clearly contradict each other. Good gracious. To whose statements do you defer, counsel? So, juror number 2.
Oh gosh, me. Well, what can I do for you?
I presume that you heard what juror number 6 said in his statement. It's brought to light the maiden name of the coroner, Dr. Scythe, which in return has revealed a connection that wasn't apparent before.
Well, naturally. As a woman of society, I find such connections and relationships irresistible. But oh golly, I'm afraid I failed to see what you mean.
Dr. Scythe's maiden name is Stevens, and through that name, the coroner is very definitely linked to the waxwork of the killer. The defense has evidence to prove it.
My goodness, evidence, you say? How? How utterly enthralling.
Counsel, the court cannot overlook that last remark. I very much hope there is substance to your claim. Of course, my lord. I would ask the court to look at this. The evidence that clearly links Dr. Scythe to the mass murderer, my armband! Wait, no. Maybe not the best plan.
It must hurt for him to nod that way. It's just so like...
A huge nod, yeah.
Yeah.
Take that!
I have here a certain autopsy report from 10 years ago. A 10-year-old autopsy report? What relevance does that have? It is, of course, from the autopsy of the person portrayed in the waxwork, the killer known as the Professor. I keep letting it slip my mind that Kazuma is here, like just standing there next to Van Zieks. Like, what? Okay. By the way, I'm going out on a limb to say that next case, and this is complete guess, he's gonna be the defendant. Like they're gonna say like that the assistant is the one that has apparently killed someone. Yeah, the professors.
No, he's not gonna kill Van Zieks, is he?
No. He's still gonna be the last one, and he's gonna be like, I don't care if this man is your friend. He's a killer. But secretly, it's just like I believed it was him all along. I just needed the truth. Yeah. That's my guess. But the man was a capital offender, so that's right. This is the certification of death that was drawn up after the convict's execution. The identity of the killer was never made public, so the report gives few details. What's important is the name of the coroner who wrote it. Courtney Stevens.
Oh my, Courtney Stevens.
Struck a light.
Struck a light? It appears the professor's autopsy was conducted by Dr. Scythe 10 years ago. And a few days ago, Mr. Drebber very deliberately stole the waxwork of the professor from Madame Tuspel's. A waxwork that doesn't in fact resemble the victim, Mr. Asman, at all.
And do you suppose there's some unsavory relationship between those events?
Absolutely. I'm sure of it. There's no doubt in my mind that the professor case is at the heart of a link that we have yet to uncover between Dr. Courtney Scythe and Mr. Enoch Drebber.
Hidden links, mysterious connections, secret relationships. This is all most extraordinary. We're surely obliged now to explore this further.
Yeah. Well, that's only one.
What, right? We can't let this trial come to an end now. Not while there's this cloud of suspicion hanging over all the best yard's best coroner.
There we go.
He's very old. He doesn't know what he's
Yeah,
trying
so
to
he
say.
stumbles over his words. Happens a lot, yeah.
It wasn't like this in my day, but we're still here to uphold justice in the end.
It's the professor. That's what links the frightful swindler and the coroner.
I guess we could... No, we can't even press, because this is, like, done.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see who else would be... We never finished the pressing on this one, because he interrupted. Let's see what he says.
Hold it!
But the police use any excuse to make our lives difficult. Sometimes they even cook up a story to extort monies from the poor. Well, that's definitely not right. Yes, that is why I say that if you trust the police, you will have trouble. But here you are, claiming this waxwork model was stolen to star in an illusionary spectacular. The idea is so wild, I think I will take my chances and believe the authorities on this one. This is how the public at large view Scotland Yard, is it?
Our own police force in Tokyo is not even 20 years old yet, is it? Perhaps we should view what's happened here in London as a measure of what may happen at home.
Yes, like a Scotland yardstick. Nice. Nice. I wonder how policemen would feel listening to the way this juror speaks about the force. I'm sure he'd have a word or two to say in response. Oh, that just in case we missed the fact that he jumped in. I've seen no rigorous proof that his waxwork was ever inside the birdcage. It's conjecture.
Hold it!
But you claim the whole instantaneous kinesis demonstration was a trick. That I did. Well, there's more than one way to pull a rabbit out of a hat, isn't there? Sorry? Well, I grant you, given that this cage appeared from amidst an explosion, there had been no need to use a real person. What if a waxwork had been used? The culprit could at least have had the decency to make it look like the victim. I'm not sure exactly how much criminals are governed by decency. Well, the point is, if you're going to make a claim about that waxwork being inside the birdcage, you need to give us some evidence. Without that, it's just not science.
I suppose we should expect nothing less than a logical argument from a fellow of the Royal Society. But that perhaps means his mind could be changed if we manage to present suitable evidence.
Evidence that the Professor Waxwork was inside that birdcage. Can I produce that or not?
Do we have any?
Do it real evidence? That's a person.
Where was the glass found? Oh, it was found in the clothing
folds
of the professor's
Yes,
waxwear.
there we go. Found from the crystal tower, found in the clothing of the wax thing. That's it. We do have the evidence.
Bam.
Actually, I have something I'd like you to see, sir. Oh? I must warn you that I firmly believe it's only wise to trust men in white coats. So given your jet black outfit, I don't mind admitting to a sense of trepidation here. So you don't trust anyone in black? Looking in the mirror must be very trying. He has a little bit of a brownish black going on anyway, I think.
Yeah. A tiny collar.
Yeah. What's that? A piece of glass? Though it's usually thick for glass. Yes, it's a piece of broken glass that we found inside the jacket on the waxwork. As you say, it's not ordinary glass, though. It's very thick and clearly made for extra strength. Much like the special glass that was developed for the construction of the Crystal Tower. The Crystal Tower. Holy smoke! Exactly. The centerpiece of the Great Exhibition, where the very incident we're talking about took place. On the day in question, the birdcage fell from above and smashed through a window of that special glass. From whence this small piece originated. Is that it? Precisely. So, what do you say? Now that clear evidence in support of the assertion has been placed before you. Well, as I said, I only trust men in white coats as a rule. However, when the reasoning is sound, it's fair to say color shouldn't come into it. In light of what you've shown me here, yes, I feel obliged to change my position on the matter.
Oh.
In that case, juror number 4, you will amend your statement now, please. Pressing the piece of glass leaves me in little doubt that the waxwork was indeed inside that birdcage. Can we pit that against something? I guess this is the evidence.
Yeah.
Let's press this to see what it says. I'm just curious. Thank you for reconsidering your position, sir. Your words are misplaced, boy. My opinion is governed by logic and science and nothing else. Yes, science is where you should direct your words of gratitude.
Thank you, Science.
You're very kind, science. What's the matter with you? Too good to say some words of thanks to the mother of all academic subjects. What is it about scientists, honestly? Alright, let's press her. I've got to ask, why have you brought that cord into court with you?
Yeah, no, Cobb. He's been going on the back of the farm. He picked him off on the way into town. He's a proper nibbler, he is.
Colonel Cobb? Of course his rank is Colonel. What else would it be? It wouldn't be the same if he was Captain Cobb, after all. Oh, great. Yes, the nibbling seems to be taking quite a while. Maybe it could wait until after the trial?
Oh, I don't like the sound of that. You need colonels at times like these. Whenever something big to decide, the colonels always point me in the right direction, see?
Okay. Side note, how the hell is that word pronounced colonel in the first place? There's no R. There's O's. Like, how is colo pronounced cur? It makes no sense.
Colonels.
It should be colonel. Yeah, a colonel. Like, that would be a completely normal word, like colonel. Like, that's totally fine. But then it's colonel? Like, why? The spelling is French. Colonel. You can say colonel in French too. I hate the English language so much. It just breaks all the rules. The worst. You're talking about your cob of corn?
Nibble, nobble, guilty bubble, nibble, nobble, not guilty out. Nibble, nobble, guilty bubble, nibble, not guilty out.
Oh.
Nibble, nobble, guilty bubble, nibble, not guilty out. Nibble, nibble, guilty bubble, nibble, not guilty out. Perhaps seeking fortune with flower petals like people do back home.
So Professor Harebrain's fate is to be decided by a cob of corn. Could you at least wait until we've had more time to find the truth before deciding on the defendant's guilt?
Ooh, I don't know about that. My tum's awfully full already.
Amazing. Get out! Get out, Runotsuke! That seems a little far-fetched to think that the waxwork model of the professor was in the birdcage. But on the other hand, it explains a lot.
There really is a reason why that particular waxwork had to be used as Mr. Asman's double. We must do everything we can to make the jurors understand it.
The truth is, I'm sure that's the key to this, but it's the most puzzling part of it too.
In that case, you should see what additional information you can glean whilst trying to change the jurors' minds. If you can read a book whilst eating a rice cracker, Mr. Naruhodo, I'm sure you can do this.
How are those two things connected? Well, right, yes. We're not done here yet. Yeah, that's true. Okay. So I think we connect these two. Because they're talking about evidence. So
Yeah.
I think that's worth it. Let's hope that's correct. Music stopped. That's a good sign. These two statements clearly contradict each other. Good gracious. To who states them to you for counsel? If you could put down your corn for a moment, you're number 5. Nibble nobble? Guilty gobble?
Oh, you mean me?
You pointed out that it's wrong to make an accusation without evidence. But the accusation that the waxwork model was inside the second birdcage on the day in question is not without supporting evidence, as the defense demonstrated to the juror sitting beside you.
Is that right?
Would it be fair to say you didn't follow the argument?
I don't understand much besides Colonel Cobb, to be honest.
Why is she on the juror stand? Why do we get like an 8-year-old girl who just eats corn on the cob? Jeez. Of course you don't. If I could interject here, please do, sir. Now that this assertion of yours is about the waxwork has been backed up by some solid evidence, it would be wrong of me, as a man of science, not to pursue the matter further.
Oh, well, me too then.
Sorry?
If this brainy gentleman says he's right, then he must be. See, I wouldn't dream of going against Colonel Cobb or anyone who's got stuffing between the ears.
All right. The hand with the cob is the one that does it, of course. Brilliant. Success, if you can call it that.
Apparently it's because it used to come from the Spanish term, which was coronel, because it's an officer of the crown, and it's sort of, I guess, mush.
But then it should be called coronel. C-O-R-O-N-E-L. Why
People
is
are
the L
lazy.
added there? It's dumb.
Cornel.
But yeah, people in my chat are making the point, so like that's. But an even worse thing is how you pronounce lieutenant as lieutenant. Which
I know
where
the reason
the hell
for
did that? Okay, why? Tell me why.
Because it was wait. Oh my god, I'm going to get this wrong, and Max was going to get angry at me because he told me literally the other day. But it was because it was what they called the person who was on the left of them. So they started making a joke about it being their left tenant. And then it just sort of became that as a little in-joke in the army. And then it just became lieutenant over time.
So
I think.
Okay.
I've already forgotten. But it was from lieutenant.
If that's true, then I'm fine with it. Because that means there is a reason for it, even though it's a dumb reason.
Yeah.
That's fine. Rather than just, they just decided to pronounce it differently. But I'm not sure that is true. Like, That seems like a, oh yeah, we were all inside joking it, and now that's how we pronounce it as a rule in the language. I don't know.
The left was the side that didn't have a sword, so the lieutenant would protect the unprotected side.
Because U and V were used interchangeably, and V was pronounced as an F. But that's dumb. That's dumb. In both ways, U and V shouldn't be used interchangeably, because if the V can be pronounced as an F, then you clearly can't have the U and V be used interchangeably. That's the problem. Because then the U letter, which is not pronounced like F, will all of a sudden be pronounced like F. It's bad. It's bad. Anyway, thank you, counsel. That will do. As a result of the summation examination, the jury's overall leaning has changed. 2 jurors now called guilty, against 4 who called not guilty. Accordingly, the court has failed to reach a consensus at this time. And the trial must continue. We did it.
Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo. Another wonderful victory.
Some countries call double W, some call it double V. There's no reason it should be double U. It's clearly 2 V's. Have you looked at the letter? It's
unless you write in
used...
bumscrunt, as I've said before.
And it's most often used, whenever the letter is used, as a version of V. Like, it's a lot closer to, like, well, I mean, it depends, I guess. It depends on language, right?
Yeah.
Like in German, it's Wagen, you know? But in English, it's wa, and that's kind of a ooh,
yeah.
wah. So if you were today, yeah, exactly, yeah. It's like, if you see the word wax, wax, but then you can see the word, if you replace that with a U, it'll be wax. That's basically the same, you know?
Yeah.
Wax work.
Waxwork.
Yeah, where instead of Waxwork, yeah. So, it's yeah. It's dumb. Everyone should use, like, language that makes sense. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't know. There's a lot of things that, it's just hard. Like, it's just a lot of things that just don't make sense. And it's not very logical. And it just causes issues.
Well, I guess it's because, like, it's all a big melting pot of invaders and stuff, isn't it? And then traveling and all the languages just
English is very much a huge mix. It's true, yeah. And a lot of other languages are as well, though most of them still have their own thing. What is happening a lot of the time is that English at the time became a huge mix of many other languages' words, right?
Yeah.
Now it's the other way around, because now a lot of other languages is taking words from English. Like in Sweden, the word for jeans, as in type pants, is jeans, spelled exactly the same. And we have the same word for juice. It's called juice. But there was a moment where people tried to Swedify it, which instead of spelling it Juice, spelling it Jos, use, which would have pronounced the same, but it didn't really stick around. But this has become the case where if you learn Swedish and you learn how Swedish words are supposed to be pronounced, you see the words Juise and you go, Juise? But no, it's supposed to be juice because it's an English word that has been transferred over. And jeans would be yawns. But like now it's like, no, it's a loan word. And again, loan words ruin languages. Look at the thing. Like, it breaks all the rules of how things are supposed to be. And you just get this weird language full of inconsistencies and breaking some of the rules.
Which is what English is. Because half of our language is just, well, it's all from somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, and that's, but the thing is,
like
as much
kiosk.
as I complain about it, yeah, you know, kiosk, which is what it's called here. But I understand. Like, for all my complaints about it, I understand this is how language works. This is how languages work since human beings began to talk. Like, it evolves, you get new words, and it just gets thing. But here's what I would like. Whenever a loan word is introduced to a language, it should keep the same vocal for how it's how it's pronounced and said, it should be jeans, it should be juice, but it should be spelt in the way that word would be spelled in language.
In that language.
So
yeah.
if you wanted the rank colonel to be pronounced colonel, it should be spelled colonel. And in Swedish, if you want to use the words jeans and juice, you spell them DJINS and DJOS.
DJ.
Jeans, juice. Yeah. or you could get away with it with a single G, but then it becomes jeans and use, which is a different pronunciation than jeans and juice. So
Jenim.
yeah.
Jort.
Oh, jorts, yeah. So that's my compromise with language, right? I understand how loan words and importing words and makes it work, and yes, that is and probably will always be how it works. I just wish that if you accept like a word to be like, oh yeah, that's a Swedish translation or dilation, you do change the way it's spelled, because there are some languages that do that. That like make sure, like I don't know how entirely true this is, but I have been told that in almost every case in Norwegian, they don't have exceptions for rules. Like when a word is pronounced a certain way, it is always spelled a certain way. So the words are changed. But I don't know if that's global or if that's just for the examples I saw. It might not be the entire thing. But yeah.
Yeah.
Like how so the word like chief, right? The chief or the leader, right? That word has the CHEF. Okay, a lot of Norwegian people disagreeing immediately. Okay, good. Fine. Obviously, that's just what I've heard. If that's not true, I'm kind of happy, actually. Because it would suck if my neighboring country had the superior language and I was stuck with Swedish. But that's good. We're on the same level now. That's good. But the example I heard specifically was the word like chief or chef, right? How it's used to spell as a CH, which is not really like a combination of consonants used a lot in Swedish, right? But because it's a loan word for chef, which is how it's pronounced, rather than using the combinations of consonants that would make the chef sound in Swedish, we just use the CH and just assume that people will learn. But in Norwegian, they just like, okay, we're going to take that word, but we're going to spell it, which is the SJ, I think, which is the way that all of those sounds sound like in Norwegian.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Everyone's saying that Finnish is better. It's a superior language. Is it because it's just a phonetic language?
Finnish, to me, I don't understand enough about. That Finnish is like Swedish, Danish, Norwegian are very, 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 very close. Like there are definitely differences. There was an incredible video I saw because a lot of people like to repeat that, like, oh yeah, you can pretty much understand Danish and Norwegian, not a problem. Yeah, like it's not great, but yeah. And then someone made a video of like, yeah, we can totally do that. I'm gonna walk through the streets of Copenhagen and just speak Swedish to people, and we'll see how it goes. And it was a disaster. It was an absolute disaster because everyone sort of thinks that we probably can, right? But
yeah,
no, not great.
Well, it's like Rob made a point that when you watch a video that's like proper old English, you don't really understand it because it's just changed so much. So I guess things do just evolve differently, even if they have the same root.
Yeah, but Finland is so different. Like Finland is extremely different to any of the other Scandinavian languages. There's not even any, like you can't look at the word and go, aha. Like usually, so what happens often in Scandinavia is products that are sold, you see obviously like the information or name or whatever written in multiple languages, right? And you sort of see those. So like you see like a bottle of shampoo or whatever. Like I imagine if you buy it in the UK, it'll probably just be English, but if not, it might be like a general European thing. So you might see like shampoo in English and then German, French, or Spanish or something.
Yeah.
You're like, okay.
You say that, but the other day I got given some syringe feed for the bunnies, and it didn't have English instructions on. And I was just I ended up just luckily I sort of vaguely understood enough French to translate it and be like, okay, I understand.
Yeah.
Deux parts low.
Okay. Yeah. So, but in Sweden, often when you get something, it's like written in many Scandinavian languages, and often the words are extremely similar. So, like you get something like conditioner or whatever, and it says like, and it's like Swedish, Danish, Norwegian, Finnish. So you get like balsam, krantristabultaba, and it's like, okay, so there's one of these words are not like the others at this point. Because the others are so similar, but there's one that is extremely dissimilar. And I don't know how close Finnish is to Russian, or if it's just their own thing entirely.
Yeah, I think we get that a lot with like German words.
Yeah,
you can vaguely see like the
because French
between some.
Yeah, French and English and they're all Romanic languages, I think that's what it's called. Romantic?
Well, it's just when you have things like, wait, what is
obvious
it?
Reasons.
The one people always meme is like hospital and like L'Hôpital and then Krankenhaus.
Krankenhaus, yeah.
Like, sorry, what?
Yeah, I know. Because German is a Germanic language, which, a lot of other languages have the same root, so they all sound a certain way. And then German, not so much. Not so much. It's like ambulance. Like, I don't even know the name in German, but it's like something loud. It's always loud in German.
When you see, as soon as you go into Wales, all the signs will be in English and Welsh. And sometimes it's just so unnecessary because it would just, I appreciate that they do it because it isn't a language that should be preserved, but sometimes it'll just be like the same word twice, and you're like,
it's like, what's the point here? You
can just tell whoever's asking that it's their language. You didn't need to.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. That's something like if you were to see like side road or whatever, and it's a side road, and it's like, okay, I can see that. And if it's the same word, just leave it once. Writing the same word twice is just stupid at that point.
My favorite one was when I worked at the BBC. And you'd have camera store, and then underneath it just had store the camera. And I'm just like, this is where we store the camera.
Nice. Yeah. English is a combination of Romantic and Germanic. There we go. A Germanic language, because most of their commonly used words are right there, they have more Romantic words in the language. Okay, that's kind of interesting. It is really such a mess of a
Romantic?
Yeah. Well, no. It's a Germanic language. Because the most common words used are Germanic. However, the vast majority of words total are Romantic. So that's the thing. It's the whole thing.
I didn't know it was actually called Romantic.
Yeah, I guess I thought it was romantic, but people in chat who seem I trust that most of them know what they're talking about. They keep saying romantic rather than romantic, so I assume so. Yeah, sure. Jay from says, go ahead and post the picture. We can post a picture of a language family tree. That's interesting.
Oh.
Where it all came from. A Germanic branch, the Cyrillic branch. That is a monster of a link, but here we go. Yeah, okay, this is pretty interesting. I will link it to you in the dim. Yes, it is. Ultimately, I think we're all gonna eventually become one, and often in cyberpunk stories, that's literally what it is. You usually get like English Chinese mix often, because they're two big countries, and it sort of becomes, but yeah.
Ooh.
So this is pretty interesting. You can see how it starts all Indo-European and then shifts immediately from European into Italic Romance on one side and then Germanic on the other side. I kind of wish they hadn't slapped the big old The Guardian picture on the bottom right that covers a lot of the stuff. I swear I've seen this picture before. I'll Google it. Language tree, Indo-European. Yeah.
I like that we get two cats in ours.
Aha! I found a better version.
It's put us as branching off from Scots, but Scots is very different to English.
It is?
yeah, like I feel like we'd be closer to maybe.
Okay, I found a better version of the thing. We delete that. Link this, and I'm gonna link this in chat as well. There you go. This is a
Doesn't
much
have
bigger
Welsh
one.
on there, I don't think. Or Cornish. Cornwall has its own language as well.
I mean, I guess they can't put every language on there. Yeah, literally. Oh wow, look at how like Finnish and Hungarian are like they're not even in the Indo-European language. They don't even share the huge root that every other language does. They're so different. They're there with like Sami Estonian and Hungarian mostly. And then North Germanic, that's where Swedish, Danish, and Norwegian are, with a slight offshoot for Faroese and Icelandic. And I didn't know that Afrikaans, Dutch, and Flemish were similar. And then you go straight into English.
Wait, is Welsh on here? Am I just being... Oh, no, I found it. Welsh and Gaelic. Oh, and Cornish. Okay, I stand corrected. That's on its own branch of Celtic.
Yeah, where are they? Yeah, they split off, yeah, before they went further into more Germanic. So I guess they have a more of a thing like that, yeah. Right where the cat is, you know.
Yeah.
This is a cool picture.
It is. I feel like I don't fully understand it, but I like
no,
looking at
me,
it.
like, I absolutely don't fully understand it either, but it is cool.
So is Sami, is that spoken in Norway? Is that like...
No, Sami is super up north. They're like a separate type of people who live up there. Like they're as quote unquote Eskimos, basically. You know, like not quite, but yeah.
Because I remember when I was up the top of Norway and I went to the museums and it had a lot of stuff about the Sami there.
Yeah. It's Duncan's dog, actually, Sami.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But it was like so far up north, I feel, that a lot of the stuff in the museum hadn't been translated, so I didn't actually learn very much from it. Like I went to a Viking museum where they translated the first room, and then the rest of it they just hadn't got around to yet, so I just sort of looked at stuff like, ooh.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I like it.
Yeah. Right. That was an interesting sidebar. Actually, I think it was really interesting. But we should probably go back
A segue.
to the game. A segue. A segue. Or segue. Segue.
Sieg.
A waxwork of the despicable professor, used as a body double for the victim in this quite extraordinary case. I must say, it's extremely hard to believe the assertion could possibly be true. However, it would appear that it does at least warrant further investigation.
Yes.
It's the waxwork of the professor that links Mr. Drebber and Dr. Scythe. And I'm convinced that there's a special significance to that link.
I don't know what you're hoping to prove, lad. I really don't. The truth, sir. By using evidence and testimony. If the court is to delve deeper into the alleged involvement of the waxwork in this case, then the prosecution calls for the owner of the model to be summoned.
Oh, Madame Tuspel's getting on the stand.
Madame?
The owner?
Madame Two Spells.
Not just one spell, two spells. Fireball and Cone of Cold.
I really thought Lord Van Cease would object to this whole line of inquiry.
Very well, I concur. Make arrangements for Madame Tuspel to appear as a witness with immediate effect.
Listen carefully, my learned friend.
Oh, yes?
You should know that you're on the brink of opening Pandora's box.
The court shall now adjourn for 45 minutes. During that time, the prosecution will summon the new witness and prepare her for taking the stand.
Madame Two Spells. Yeah. I shall see to it at once, my lord. Every time I hear Pandora's Box, I just think of, have you ever seen Notting Hill?
Yes.
The bit where Reese Ifans is just like, I used to know a girl called Pandora. Never got to see her box though. I just can't help but like those two lines are just cemented in my brain forever.
It's a bit unfair that like Pandora's Box to me is similar to the original sin in Christian mythology. Ooh, shouldn't have said mythology, piss people off. In the idea that like the god or the gods just handed one person the most dangerous possible thing ever, and said like, "Don't open it though," and then giggles. And then when they inevitably do open it, they're like, "You ruined the world! Everything you did! You are horrible! You unleashed war, plague, death! Ah!" It's like, why did you give her the box? Are you joking me? Then it's like, okay, if you really don't want them to eat the goddamn fruit in your paradise, why did you place them right next to it and put no guards up to it? Put no protection. Don't even tell them what it is. Nothing. Just like, don't eat. Okay, what happens? I'm not going to tell you. Okay, well, maybe you shouldn't eat. Should we maybe not have it? No, you should hang out right next to it. Okay. We shouldn't eat them. Should we maybe close it up? Nope, you're going to be right underneath it at all times. I'm also going to let the devil be around to chat with you and convince him, and I'm not going to stop him at all. You know?
I can't remember the ins and outs of Pandora's Box, but I'm going to guess Hera was spurned. That's my just guess
Greek
for
mythology.
most Greek mythology.
Hera was
Zeus
spurned,
slept with someone. Hera was spurned. Gave them bad things.
Bad shit happens. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
There's basically two stories in Greek mythology. One of them is there's a prophecy that this person will one day kill you. Okay, I'll do everything in my power to stop that and then get killed by them.
Yes.
And then there's don't do this one thing.
Yeah.
And they do the one thing. Those are like pretty much all of the stories come down to those.
True. But that's just because like that's the reason for the stories. All of those stories from basically all mythology and that are morality tales. It's literally meant for people to tell them why they shouldn't do certain things. They're like, oh, there was a story of a man who married his brother's wife, and then like, I'm not gonna have babies with you, so he spilled his seed upon the sand. Oh, and that's horrible, and God said you're bad, so therefore you shouldn't masturbate because it said so in this story. And it's like, oh, you shouldn't want this thing that someone else did because if you do, this happens to Joey Bob, and Joey Bob died, and etc. etc.
No matter how nice your neighbor's ass is, you should
do not covet
it.
down neighbor's ass. Exactly.
Ever.
Yeah. So
get yourself a nice ass. Move on with your life.
That's honestly the easiest way. It's all about the morality tale and basically telling people how to live through fancy stories. That's the origin of everything. So like, and then they just use recurring characters. In which case, in Greek mythology, usually like, oh yeah, all the gods and some of the heroes, you know. But
who's that dad? Zeus.
Yeah, Zeus, I guess. Yeah, because it's always Zeus, you know, and always Hera who's mad and takes it out on other people when Zeus is an asshole. It's amazing how Zeus gets away with everything because he never gets punished. Hera gets mad and punishes the people that Zeus got involved into. Zeus himself is like, ho, I'm such a stinker. Ho. And it's like, you know, yeah. But yeah, there you go.
It is funny how Oedipus is often used as people sort of use it in a way of like fancying your mum. But really,
Yeah.
he did everything in his power to not fancy his mum.
Yeah.
He like went to
Well,
such lengths so that he wouldn't end up marrying his mum. Obviously, it didn't work out very well for him. But they do
yeah.
it as
Well,
if it's like people use it as if like he was really
he was
like,
really into
well,
his mom from
yeah,
the very
my
beginning. Yeah.
mum. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was
Which is
horrified by it.
Yeah, well, I think the point. Well, obviously, it's just used as shorthand, because in that story, that's what happened.
Yeah.
But what really happened in that story was that he left, for ages, and then came back, and really, what it was, he saw a powerful older woman, and why wouldn't you be like
Yeah.
attracted to that, right? Like powerful, older, great, let's get together, because none of them knew. So
Yeah.
it's on like involuntary. They didn't know they were related. So that's where that comes from. And
Like those twins that got married.
yeah, yeah. I don't know, man. Like I've
I
told
really
like
wish
this.
I could see the conversation where they went, "You're adopted too, huh? When's your birthday? Oh,
Oh,
same."
really? That's okay. That's
We have
kind of
so much in
cool.
common. I think I
Yeah,
fancy
yeah. Well, to be honest, like that is common. Like there is, there's a saying opposites attract, but actually like attracts like as well, So people are like similar. Like
Yeah.
that's yeah. But they said that like the thing that prevents people from having like being into like your siblings and like when you grow up is a biological thing. When you grow up with someone, there is this immediate shift for like so that you don't get attracted to someone which you might have otherwise, like, but that isn't biological. That is something that you grow up with as such, like that's part of it. So that's why if you are
Yeah.
split from someone biologically first time you meet again, you absolutely could find them attractive and be into them, because the fact that you have the same genes, there's no magic gene that detects similar gene and stops the attraction. No, it's a matter of like having been with someone for ages when you were a kid, like for a lot. That's the stuff that makes you not be attracted to them,
Yeah.
um which is the thing. But I also find that a little bit interesting because people can absolutely be attracted to someone they've been close friends with, like for their for most of their entire life. But I guess it's just, even if you've been close with them for a long time and met them a lot and hung out with them a lot, it's still not the same as being literally siblings all the time,
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's really winding me up that the picture is in front of the arch. How would that work? There's like the bit that sticks out on the wall, and the
Yeah.
picture goes over it, and I don't understand how it works.
Are you sure that's the picture going over?
What is that? It looks like it's hanging in front of it.
That could just be shadow. I know. It's weird that it stops in the middle. I'll grant you, but that could just be again. You never see my mouse moving, right? But if you look at the opposing side of the painting, you see like that's just part of the wall, the little pillar thing, and that could be the same thing on the right.
I feel like it should be like this bit here, be sticking out more.
Well, it is
That's
sticking
what's
out.
been distracting me the whole time.
I guess I don't understand what it is that. What do you think that's wrong? What's wrong?
I feel like it should be like this bit
Yeah.
doesn't look like it's behind this bit should be flush to the wall.
You don't think it's close enough to the wall, the painting?
Yeah, it feels as if it's somehow on top of that bit, as if it just
I
randomly
don't.
sticks out.
Oh, I don't see that. Is it
Does anyone else see what
because?
I mean?
Is it sort of because the line isn't pointy enough? So like on the okay, like so pillars 1, 2, 3, 4 from the left, right? So on pillar 2, more 2 than 3, the very side of it is very pointy.
Yeah.
Whereas okay, then now I see it. But on
So
the
it feels
4,
like it
it's
should
not.
come
It feels
out
like
to
almost it's been
here.
cut off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I see that. I still don't see the painting being above it as such, but yes, I see what you mean. That is a bit weird. You don't stick
Oh, is it
paintings to
just
wall
that
very
it's...
often.
Oh, I see what you're saying now.
Yeah.
I thought this line here was the shadow of the painting being like on top of the point, and that's why it
Yeah.
confused me.
No, I see. That line is basically the smaller pillar that is like built in, like so it's not a pillar versus clean wall. Yeah, but yeah, but yes, okay. I think that's enough analysis of that. The Knight Errant himself. Oh, have you been watching from the gallery, Mr. Sholmes? I've been on the edge of my seat the entire time. Courtroom trials are fascinating affairs, as a spectator at least. I'm glad you've been enjoying yourself.
I have to ask. What on earth is going on? It makes no sense. What's this professor business all about? He doesn't look like any professor I've ever met before. Who even is he?
Ah, of course. You were in Germany already 10 years ago. Yes, the professor. When I discovered he was the one who had been abducted, a sense of foreboding stirred within me. But who knew the monster would come knocking at your door? My heartfelt sympathies. As it turns out, Lord Van Zieks is even more intimately tied to this case than any of us realized, isn't he?
Yes.
Did you say how true? You cut off, so I didn't hear it. You're too Susato, too soft. Too soft.
How true. His great friend from university in the dock.
And now a waxworker, the killer who took his esteemed brother's life, makes an appearance too. I imagine even the shrewd Mr. Reaper failed to foresee that kick in the teeth. An extraordinary move on your part, my dear fellow, to throw that in front of the man. You make it sound deliberate.
I can't help feeling that this professor case is really very puzzling.
Oh yes? In what particular manner?
Well, there's Mr. Drebber, Dr. Scythe, and Lord Van Zieks. It seems that everybody in the trial has a link to the case somehow. Oh, yes! In fact, I alone am not a member of the set. I got confused there because I was like, well, of course they're all linked, because one's the prosecutor, one's the coroner, and one's the accused. But
well,
I guess she means outside of the...
Yeah, but I think they're all linked to the professor case rather than linked to this case.
Oh, okay, that's why that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that leaves me as an empty set, all alone with no intersection to any other.
Excuse me. Oh, it's her. Dr. Scythe. Dr. Courtney Scythe, nay Stevens. It is nay, right? Like
I've never known how to say that word, and now
I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna learn today.
Say me, but I don't actually know.
I am looking it up.
Nay.
Yeah, it's nay. Nay. N-A-Y, basically.
Nay.
Dr. Courtney Scythe, nay Stevens. Good day to you. Oh,
It
hang on my
sounds
headphone wire. Oh no, hold on.
Are you tangled? Guess what? I have a new mouse. I did it. I finally got a new one. Ooh. I don't know if he can hear me.
No, hold on. No! Oh no. I don't know if you can hear me, but I can't hear anything.
I can hear you, but, well, if you can't hear me, I could be saying anything. Beep, 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 boop, 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 beep, beep, boop, boop, beep, beep, boop. What can I finally say that I won't get in trouble for? Hello, Ontario. How's it doing? Van Zeke's is best character. Speak now if you don't agree. I think stay silent if you think that Runosuke and Van Zeke should get together at the end of the game. Okay. No, this is deep sound settings. I'll give you Briony. Wait. It's a very still, but I don't agree again. Let me refresh Briony. Oh, I know what it is. I think I know what it is. I think it's Hello Night. I don't know what it is. We never heard him again. Why does the loading keep on failing? Technology, what are you doing? They've gone to TwitchCon and they've taken all the good technology with them. We've been left with everything breaking. I'm just getting connection failed. You just got a very still image of...
Yeah, I can't hear anything at the moment. It's like my headphones stopped working.
Oh no. I will say...
I assume you can still hear me, and people can still hear Briony as well, but...
I swear I won't out you this time. Congrats on new house, thank you. Wait, does this mean I can be semi in charge? Wait, can his stream hear him? Am I in charge of Rythian's stream now? Can you hear both? We can hear his stream, yes. Okay. Okay. We can hear both of you.
Yeah. It's good that you can hear me and her, but I can't hear anything. It's like my headphones themselves have broken.
Oh no. Wait, can he not hear the game?
The output seems to be the same.
Curious and curious. Audio issues are the bane of my days. Wish I could help. What else can we say? If I mute myself here, I'll mute myself here and then I'll just say something.
Sorry if you guys are hearing like the bing boom boom sound.
I'll play DMCA music down my mic. I'll take Rythian down! I obviously wouldn't actually do that. Then we would stream together and I'll be very sad.
I'm gonna save the game just in case something goes wrong.
Hello Ruth, how you doing? Oh, he's saving. Why is Buncam not working? The time I need it most. Still image of Cherry Boy.
I might have to restart my computer and see if that helps.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'll type. Okay.
I'll end the stream here and I'll call you later to see if it works. I know you can't really respond to me, or I mean you could, but I can't. Yeah. Oh, no.
That's
I'll try to get it working soon. I guess
wait.
just watch Bunny Cam until then and stuff.
You got this.
See you in a bit, hopefully.
There we
also,
go.
Bye, everyone on stream.